What if we could actually see inside a student's brain while they're learning? Well, a breakthrough technology is doing exactly that, and it costs less than a pair of sneakers.
That's such a fascinating concept. The idea of making neuroscience accessible to every classroom could completely transform how we think about learning.
You know what really struck me? There was this brilliant student who was labeled lazy because of undiagnosed ADHD. When they finally looked at her brain activity, they discovered she was working twice as hard as everyone else just to stay focused.
Hmm, that really shows how wrong our assumptions can be. How exactly does this technology work?
So, picture this. It's a simple $25 EEG headset that students wear while studying. The device monitors something called gamma band activity. These are brainwaves between 30 and 100 hertz that show cognitive engagement. But here's what's really cool. They've developed an AI system that translates those complex brain signals into practical advice for teachers.
Well, that sounds incredibly complex. How did they manage to make something so sophisticated work in a noisy classroom environment?
That's actually one of the most impressive parts. They completely rebuilt their signal processing system from scratch. The entire AI model runs offline and fits in just 50 megabytes. That's smaller than most mobile games. And get this, they're achieving 89% accuracy compared to clinical standards.
Oh, wow. And you mentioned earlier it only costs $23 per student? That's incredible for this kind of technology.
Exactly. Think about it. We're talking about technology that usually costs thousands of dollars in specialized clinics. They've managed to make it so affordable that almost any school district could implement it.
You know what this reminds me of? It's like when eyeglasses were first introduced to schools and teachers suddenly realized some students weren't slow. They just couldn't see the board.
That's such a perfect analogy. And the impact they're seeing in pilot programs is remarkable. Teachers are reporting completely transformed classrooms because they can finally understand why certain students struggle and adapt their teaching methods in real time.
The implications for special education must be enormous. Instead of waiting months for formal assessments, teachers could potentially identify and address learning differences immediately.
And here's what's really exciting. They're partnering with a national hospital for clinical validation and planning to deploy in more schools next year. The potential for scaling this technology is huge.
So, what do you think this means for the future of education? How might classrooms look different in 5 years if this becomes standard?
Well, imagine classrooms where every student's cognitive needs are understood and supported in real time, where teaching methods are adapted on the fly based on actual neural feedback. It's not just about identifying struggles, it's about optimizing learning for every single student.
That kind of personalization could really level the playing field in education.
Exactly. And that's what they're calling cognitive justice. It's about giving every child a fair chance to learn in a way that works for their brain. When you combine this with their plans for wider deployment, we might be looking at a future where no student's potential goes unseen simply because we couldn't understand how their mind works.
The ripple effects could go far beyond just education. This could change how we think about human potential and learning differences at a societal level.
Looking at the bigger picture, this technology represents something truly revolutionary, not just in terms of educational innovation, but in terms of human understanding. We're entering an era where we can finally see and support the incredible diversity of human cognition, and that's something worth getting excited about.